It's a lovely Saturday morning. Much obliged to have you join us on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. And that's because it's a simulcast. I'm Sonny Duke, of course, your host on the show. Let's begin by looking at some of the top political stories we're following. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has brought forward the dates for the 2027 general elections following the enactment of a new Electoral Act. In a statement by its spokesman, Mohammed Haruna, INEC said the 2027 presidential and National Assembly elections will now hold on 16 January 2027, while governorship and state houses of assembly elections have been rescheduled to 6th of February 2027. The elections were earlier fixed for 20th February and 6 March, respectively, under the repealed Electoral Act 2022. Muslim faithful had also raised concerns that the previous timelines would coincide with the fasting month of Ramadan, and that could affect voter turnout. The elections were earlier fixed for 20 February and 6 March 2027, respectively, under the repealed Electoral Act 2022. Muslim faithful had raised serious concerns about the implications of that, but all of that has been sorted out. Let's move on to our next story. Edo State government has condemned the recent assault on members of the African Democratic Congress ADC, characterizing the incident as an escalation of internal party conflict that has gone excessively far. The governor expressed sympathy for the affected party members. He noted that it was regrettable that certain individuals allegedly exploited Edo State's peaceful environment to incite violence. In a statement, he said, as peace-loving citizens, we categorically condemn and will not tolerate the importation of thugs and miscreants from outside the state under the guise of political activity. He affirmed that as the state's chief security officer, it would prevent Edo from becoming a battleground for political rivalry. Well, this is one of the issues we'll be x-raying on the program today. And then moving on. House of Assembly Adewale Egbedun, along with 24 other lawmakers in Osun State, have defected from the People's Democratic Party to the Accord Party. The defections were announced on Friday in a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Olamide Tamiu, in Osogbo, the state capital. Governor Ademola Adeleke had previously left the PDP for Accord Party in December 2025 and became the party's governorship candidate in the August 15 election. Tamiu said the lawmakers made their decision during a parliamentary meeting before proceeding to the banquet hall to meet the governor and top Accord leaders, where the formal declaration was made public by the Speaker. Those are some of the top stories we are following on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. And without wasting time, we'll go right now to our first guest on the program today, who is the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Edo State, Prince Kazeem Afegbua. And then on the second half, we'll also be speaking with distinguished Senator Roland Owe, who is the former Chief Whip of the Senate. All of this is going to come back to back, but let's begin with our first guest. Kazeem is already here with us. Kazeem, good morning and welcome to the program Politics Today. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Fantastic. Let's begin with the issues surrounding the press release by the government on the ADC incident in the state, which for some people is concerning because we are gradually moving into the momentum for the 2027 election. And one of the things that scares people from participating in a democratic process is the fear of their safety. And that seems to be what came to the fore earlier this week. Would you want to ventilate your views on that issue?
Issue what happened on Tuesday. We found at the fact that we're trying to apportion blame to also names. But this is politics. Everything about politics they happen. They want to do that. But the governor has a very strong statement condemning the acts. Also, the commission is and the security system move into investigating the immediate and the remote particular incident. One who found corporate. We want this peaceable, let's flourish, campaigns for candidates. And so you have of engagements and by different political parties. So we pray that we'll be able to transmit all of that under atmosphere of peace, tranquility, and stability.
We can barely hear what you're saying. The audio is a bit distorted. Let's just take a short break. We'll bring you on again in just a moment. Let's see if we can make some slight adjustments.
Independent television is 29. Hooray! The foremost and leading media outfit will on March 27th, 2026 mark its 29 years of existence. Wow! In this regard, ITV is putting up a lecture series that will be answering that salient question. Covadmus, Nigeria, where are we going? So come be part of the brainstorming lecture series as erudite intellectuals are expected to be part of this year's lecture.
Okay, we've re-established connection with Prince Kazeem Afegbua, the Honorary Commissioner for Information, Edo State. Prince, thank you for your patience. Good to have you back with us on the program. So we're looking at the ADC incident in Edo State, in which some allegations and counter-allegations, accusations and counter-accusations dominate national discourse in the last couple of days. You were reacting to that. Yes, Lana, go ahead, please.
Okay, it is peculiar that when you are going into an election year and campaigns will soon start, tempers will be high, all manners of insinuations, all manners will be flying left, right, and center. But the truth of the matter is that the ADC is coming from political parties that are presently in turmoil. The PDP is in turmoil into several factions. The Labour Party, which Peter Obi belongs, is in turmoil. Yeah, and for whatever reason, other than put to resolve issues and display some bolting away from their parent political party to cohabitate in ADC. We don't have problem with that. But we're saying that in their trace, crisis is peculiar. And so when we had incidents in Benin on Tuesday, we knew exactly that they were only exhibiting a peculiar trait that was very familiar with them. And on Monday, there was crisis. On Tuesday, this crisis snowballed into the shooting. Now, there's a Yoruba adage that says that when you hear the cry of a witchcraft yesterday and a child dies today, they will naturally, link witchcraft that had cried yesterday. And if you take a step further from what happened, I think yesterday, I understand that the ADC South are pitching their tent with Amechi and all that. It is all of this internal struggle for control, that metamorphosed into the crisis of Tuesday. Very, very avoidable, very unfortunate, and we have since issued statement to condemn it, and we are saying that this Edo should be free from all internal implosions, all internal crises, so that we can have a peaceful campaign season and elections will be conducted under an atmosphere of tranquility and peace.
Yeah, Prince, the press release was first to identify.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Prince, can you hear me? I will have another technical glitch. Let's see where we can fix this as soon as possible so we can continue with our conversation with Prince Kasim Afegbua this lovely Saturday morning on Politics Today, looking at some of the issues that dominated conversation in the last couple of days, particularly from Edo State. We're trying to establish connection, get Prince's reaction as the Commissioner for Information in Edo State, so we can have some perspectives on some of these issues that have been at the front burner in recent time. Okay, maybe Kasim is trying to re-establish a connection with us, but the issues are very clear. There was an attack on the ADC Secretariat in Edo State earlier this week, in which a lot of properties were destroyed. That's not the first time that incident is happening. Like, a repeat of what happened before, where there were attempts to get the Secretariat burnt, and then this time it became more vicious, more confrontational, and almost threatening, almost a big threat to the lives of people, lives of properties at the Secretariat, because gunmen allegedly came. Okay, so Kasim, we're good to have you back now. Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that the press release by the government was the first source of information to adduce what happened to an internal crisis of the party. That's concerning, even though there are concerns also in some quarters that the ruling party in this state has already mobilized squads to ensure that opposition don't survive, don't exist in the state. We heard some of those comments from highly placed individuals within the leadership of the party in the state, and even the governor has, at a point, asked Peter Obi not to step into Edo State unless it takes permission from him. Just like you said, an owl cried in the night, a baby died in the morning. I mean, how do you expatiate all of this?
The governor did not give a fatwa, or it did not say Peter Obi must obtain a permission. I think people must get the syntax of the governor's statement correctly. The governor said, as a matter of courtesy, inform us anytime you are coming out so we can provide additional security and protocol to you because you are a politically exposed person. It is not too much to ask for. Now people are calling us to say, oh, this is it that happened. What have we done? Have we copied to sympathize with him and all that? I say, a man who didn't recognize that you exist, why would we all to sympathize with him. We have since condemned the act. That is basic. But you see, when we said, whenever you are coming, just extend that courtesy to us, we are not asking for too much. We are not asking for a handshake that is beyond the elbow. We are not saying that we want to dictate to you how you move. It is just to prevent incidences such as this. That was why that statement was made ab initio. You see, if we had our security men in that place with a bulletproof car taking Peter Obi to wherever he was going and all of that, we will have a better idea of those who are the masterminds of this particular act, if it happened at all. Because it is not just about playing politics and you say you want to identify with the ordinary folks and all that. You must protect yourself and ensure that you are up and doing before you can even talk about policing the ordinary folks out there. Politics is very volatile in this part of the world, whether you like it or not. And for an election year of this nature, you should expect that crimes and criminalities or thugs and whatever they are, they may attempt to even spoil the cook, disrupt whatever you are trying to do and all of that. If you look at ADC, there is struggle for control. That is not in doubt. Only yesterday, the John Diego faction of the ADC, the South said they are endorsing Amici and all of that, and Amici has come to inform them that they will give him all the support. Okay, here you have a Peter Obi who is also coming, who is also interested in the presidency. You have Atiku Abubakar and all of that. So all of these factors and persons would naturally provoke internal mechanisms, that internal struggle for control that may snowball into the kind of incident we saw on Tuesday.
Fantastic. Let's talk about some of the issues that are dominating discussions, particularly as it relates to governance in Edo State. There's a story that has been trending online about the fact that the government of Edo State is into extra budgetary spending. What is really the myth or the substance in this story? Running into billions of naira. Can you hear me?
What story is that?
Okay, the story that Edo State government, this story is on Premium Times. If you want to, you can check it out. About over 14 billion naira, extra budgetary spending not appropriated by the State House of Assembly. So I want to get your reaction on this. Is this a myth, or is there any substance that we can take from this story?
The Commissioner for Finance and the Accountant General are working on a statement that will expatiate our financial behavior since we took power November 12, 2024. And so, because when we read that story, part of that story crept into the previous administration. Don't forget that when we came on board in November 11, we didn't generate a budget. The supplementary budget that we generated, we worked within that ambit, and so to a very large extent, part of that report has to do with a follower from the previous administration. But the Finance Commissioner, those who are experts in managing finances and all of that, they are already doing a report. Maybe by tomorrow or Monday, we are going to issue it to the public. But it doesn't suggest any call to arms. It doesn't suggest any fraudulent financial transactions. My first impression would be that until the right figures are captured by those who manage our books before we can make a categorical. So I think they are working on that. And when it is out, you have a copy of it in another 24 hours.
All right. Prince, when the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, the first thing he did was to remove fuel subsidy. And the basics for that was to ensure, according to him, remove all the frauds within the oil and gas industry that makes people to benefit from subsidy without doing anything. And he also told Nigerians that essentially more money will come for development, and to a large extent, that statement is coming to fruition because states and local governments today, as you are aware, are getting more revenues, more inflows.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
Hello?
Prince, can you still hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Okay, so part of the technical challenges that we have in Nigeria, and of course creating a lot of distortion when you're having some very, very meaningful conversation. But we're determined to ensure we bring this conversation to a logical end. Kasim, thank you so much for your patience and your commitment to ensuring we have this conversation. Thank you so much, Prince.
This is a note of caution to those who want to real-time transmission. You can see
Okay. Now, Prince, I was saying that President Bola Tinubu's removal of fuel subsidy.
I had your question with respect to the subsidy.
Yes, has brought so much money. In Edo State, would you say what has been coming in is justifiable in terms of what is being done? Because we heard that the government of Edo State is buying a 1 billion naira bulletproof vehicle for the Speaker of Edo State, and some other millions for vehicles for the House of Assembly members who, during the last administration, also got official vehicles. Isn't this financial recklessness, or is it because there's too much money, we don't know what to do with this money, that we're making some of these kind of expenditures?
Sonny, I didn't even expect you at your level to also parrot this kind of information.
No, just answer the questions. That's what, because we are giving you a platform. Please just hold on. We are giving you a platform to clarify this issue. So if I'm asking you, is helping you and helping your government, so to speak.
No, you are.
Yeah, but when you now say you don't expect me at this level, then of course.
Can you let me talk? If you are the one going to do the talking, then
because you took a swipe at me, and I wanted to get you on that. Go ahead.
There's nothing you are getting.
Go ahead.
The language you use is doesn't this amount to financial recklessness? How do you define recklessness? Come on. You are forgetting I'm a journalist like you. Please, when you want to ask your question, you ask your question pointedly. The legislature is an arm of government. The judiciary is an arm of government. The executive is an arm of government. Another democracy, the legislature presently they enjoy their autonomy in terms of financial autonomy, and so whatever they do, you go and ask their legislature how the budget they are enjoying, what they do with the budget. They all have their own internal mechanism. The executive cannot break down their throat. It's like that in every other setting in terms of independence of the legislature and the judiciary. That is that. What I can tell you that we are getting additional money different from, better than what Edo State used to get in the previous administration as a consequence of the subsidy removal and the fact that more monies are going to the state. That is not in doubt, because even last week or thereabout, 2.2 trillion was shared, at the federal allocation, platform, and that means that if a state was getting 2 billion before, you are likely going to be getting 4 billion. I don't have the entire figures of the Edo State now. I will have told you the figure we're getting. But at every point we kept appreciating President Tinubu for giving us more money for us to be able to intervene in critical sectors of the Edo economy, the infrastructure revamp we are doing, the renovation of so many schools, the health sector, the primary health care we are building, the roads we are building, and so many other things we are doing. Just like Oliver Twist, it's never enough. We want more. That is not in doubt. We have also improved on our IGR. And our target by virtue of the 2026 budget, we are hoping to raise about 110 billion at the end of the fiscal year, from internally generated revenue. That is almost like 100% departure from what we inherited, because they were making 5 billion, 5.5 billion, and they were singing Hosanna music. But today we are making 10 billion, 9.5 billion, and in some cases 10.5 billion monthly. And so we are also applying these resources judiciously in confronting the challenges, the developmental challenges, in the state. With respect to the decree rule that we inherited, federal rules were in bad shape. They were putting signposts and telling us that we are sorry and we can intervene. Now we are intervening. And we are doing quite a number of these rules across the entire senatorial district of the state. We are also doing ecological engagement. We are doing school innovation. We are fixed about 70 schools now, and we are providing chairs and tables for all those schools. You can verify them. You can take your camera there. You see. Go to New Era now. You see the new lab there. Go to Oredo Girls College. You will see the new lab there. Go to Amide Secondary. You see the new lab there. Go to Ekewaro. You see the kind of road we are building, and quite a number of them. Go Tembuga, linking Unibrand down to the bypass. You see the kind of work we are doing. We are doing the flyover in Benin. We are doing the second flyover at Adesua Junction. We are doing the Sapele Road down to the road going to Warri. There are quite a number of projects.
Okay. Let me pause you, Prince. Let me pause you here. Let me pause. We'll just take a break for the news. We'll take a break for the news. I'll be back with you for us to conclude this conversation before we bring in our next guest. Stay with us. Still Politics Today.
This TV.
On independent television and radio. Of course, we've been talking with Prince Kasim Afegbua, who is the Honorable Commissioner for Information in Edo State, sharing thoughts with us, some of the issues that have been at the front burner in recent time, just to ensure we're able to make sense of all of these issues and have proper perspectives on them, particularly against the background of some of the perceptions that have been there in recent times. But we've not been able to reconnect with Kasim again, so we'll leave it at that. Hope to have him here physically in the studio at some other time. But we'll be bringing on board distinguished Senator Roland Owe, former Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate. Of course, will be here to talk with us. And now, an ADC chieftain. We'll take a minute break, and then we'll have Senator Roland Owe join us live in the studio. Please stay. Thanks again for rejoining us on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. We're joined now live in the studio by distinguished Senator Roland Owe, who is a former Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate. He's also been at the House of Representatives. I mean, he's been there over the years as a grassroots politician. Senator Roland Owe, many thanks for joining us on the program.
May God bless you.
Okay, I like to start this conversation with you. Anytime I have you on a program, I want to start the conversation with you by looking at like a comparison between the policies of the 80s, early 90s, or the 90s, the 70s, and what we have today. Because I heard one time in the Second Republic, you were almost becoming a native doctor within the UPN rank and file. So I like you to give me those perspectives here. Share those thoughts with us.
Yeah, God bless you. You can't compare the policy of 1979-83 with this one. Where we are now is lunatic. It's unfortunate. In the UPN, see, my father was of the old Owigbe. He and Paudubu of Romeo and Paolaye Duerie, and my uncle D.N. Ronsaye was a member of House of Rep, were major holders of the Owigbe Society and the NCNC, Edo. So I was born into it. My mother had 11 children. They died before I came number 9. She had twins, and the 2 died the same day. And it was thought that, oh yes, it's society, it's witchcraft. So when I came out of the university in 71, it was only due that I had to be moving from society to society, from native doctor to native doctor. At a point, I bought vehicle for 4 native doctors in those days. But to the glory of God, by 1986, Christ found me. And I thank God for it.
Fantastic. You said today's politics is lunatic.
Oh, yes.
And that means people like you didn't really have a good legacy that you transferred to the present generation in terms of values and what have you politically?
Our mentor, DNA Ronsaye, Iyo Mafidon, Chobabmi Awolowo, one of the greatest rulers this country ever produced. We came on board. Under the UPN, you can't lie to a leader. As soon as you get there and start talking to him about you just keep quiet, you move a bit, say, I'm coming, we'll go into the toilet and call the person I'm talking about. Within the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, you will come. Say, Roland, tell what you were telling me just now, say it. And that is why in the UPN never lied. Because he will expose you, leaders will expose you. But today, leadership is interested in gossiping across the nation. And politics have been okay from that period. The greatest destruction of political system was the what do you call him, General, the man from Kano, who was head of state. Became from somewhere here in Edo.
Is it Murtala Muhammad?
Murtala Muhammad that destroyed the legacy that old UPN, NPP, GMPP, ROP built. He destroyed it. And as soon as he became president of the country, all the way here dismissed with immediate effect. Dismissed with immediate effect. Civil servant that labored only what we were interested in, to have 4-bedroom in GRA and one month leave outside the country with their wife. They now found their name being dismissed with immediate effect on television. A number of our people from Old Bende who were in Ibadan, their property were thrown to the road. And so as soon as that happened, civil servants now realized, if my boss has suffered to serve this country, this is ending. So civil servant, Palm Cell became corrupt. And then I started telling their boy, if you are posted as commissioner or minister to a ministry, the PS come and tell you, okay, don't waste your time. All those we served, this was how they ended up on television. They were dismissed. They now teach the commissioner, the minister, how to steal. And if you look at it, in the UPN, with the soul of our leaders in peace, free education, free health, full employment. All the schools in the Old Bende were staffed. We were paying raw allowance and paying tax allowance. Grade 2 teachers that went to NCE were paying 4,000 naira per month to a grade 2 teacher who was doing NCE free. The first year, UPN government sent 1,400 Bendelite to America scholarship and 1,100 to UK. And at that time, it was 60 kobo to $1 and 90 kobo to £1. What are we today? 1,000 something to a pound.
Okay. That would be a story for another day. The momentum of opposition in the build-up to 2027 has been of a huge concern. We saw the attack on the ADC Secretariat and subsequently on the house of Chief John Odige Oyegun, former the first civilian governor of Edo State. And people have, even the government of Edo State, through their press release, said this is an internal crisis. Some even said maybe people like you were not allowed in there and subsequently mobilized, you know, against who. So, I mean, the ADC hasn't really started fully in terms of that level of acceptance. We are beginning to sense some level of internal wranglings and maybe a build up to the election itself that may not be really, you know, good.
God bless you. The truth is that ADC is growing every day. So within their government across the nation, I can tell you, not less than 1/3 of those that are serving them are already in ADC privately. They know that this government is gone. Can you imagine that Ministry of Health that is in pain budgeted 218 billion? They were given 36 million naira for a whole year. Since I grew up, there is no year that budget has not been implemented. For the first time in history of Nigeria, 2025 budget was not implemented by the APC government. Yet, he has borrowed about 9 times. Yet, he has removed fuel subsidy. Where we used to go with 7,000 naira, now go there with 30,000 naira. Before now I go to my village, my hometown, 7,000 naira. This time I buy 30,000 naira fuel. This is the most destructive government in the history of Nigeria. Even their members are suffering. I want to tell you, there's no internal wrangling in this at all. We were just at the meeting where Peter Obi and co, our boy, what do you call him, our Labour member came to, Olumide Akpata came to declare. It was my turn to speak. As I was speaking, the state chairman Odion moved to me. I said, Daddy, please, reduce the length of your speech. I just got information from the DSS that APC talks are coming to attack us at the Secretariat. I quickly rounded up, put one song, and we play a closing prayer. Ask him. Everybody rushed away. Peter Obi, my in-law, said that my lead, I'll go. I'm going to the airport. I want to pass. I said, we're in Lent. I'm going to the church. Safe journey. Less than 20 minutes, our secretary have been attacked.
So are you saying the thugs who attacked the Secretariat, they are
APC organized? Let them deny.
How can you substantiate this?
Look, what I'm telling you, the security agents that call our chairman, that APC talks on their way to the Secretariat. It's just that the nation is now have been closed down. 4 security officers, I pity them. They are not even inside life. They know the truth. But to maybe manage their own daily bread, they will not say. But go internally. It's clear. And as soon as Peter Obi and Uncle were now going to the chief of Yegun's house, this same top follow them. You can destroy, filing, vehicle they met on the ground. About 9-11 vehicles, they used guns to destroy all of them. But according to Jonathan's wife, where there is God, there is God, they will pay dearly for their crimes. Nothing, no sin that is committed that will not have repercussion. Why are they pretending?
Okay. Yeah. Talk to us about the prospects of the ADC in Edo State, interfacing it with the level of governance, the impact of governance in Edo State. We can talk about the flyover bridges, the first in Edo State. We can talk about the federal roads that are being constructed. Some of those roads were told in the past, these are roads belonging to the federal government. Federal government should take care of it. But all of these roads are being fixed. I mean, when Tinubu removed fuel subsidy, one of the things he raised was that there will be more monies to the government, to the state. And truly, more monies are coming to the state. We can see that with what is happening in Edo State. What are your thoughts on that?
Let me tell you that more money are really coming to the state because we removed fuel subsidy, which have been there to save the ordinary people. The more money you are seeing today, which ordinarily, because the fuel subsidy was on, the ordinary people who can't even have access to anything enjoy their life. They didn't go through the pain they were now going through. Remove fuel subsidy, 90% of Nigerians are now suffering today. If you 10% on top, more money goes to the state. Where is it going to? Where is the impact? Not too long I heard that the governor of this state was now going to charge for any social dance that is held in the schools. They will pay. I don't know, I saw people going against it. Don't try it. I must confess to it, he who is giving the highest must perform the highest. The revenue that this state is getting today, because of the withdrawal of subsidy, previous government never had it. And so if you are doing flyover, that really goes nowhere. The Kuba flyover, okay, fine, manageable. That's why grammar school flyover, going to where? You're going to destroy those houses? You see, a responsible person in government, you have to compare what you are doing. How does it affect the people? How does it affect those I govern? How does it affect me? Go through there. Is that where a bypass should be in a responsible government? Who have human beings as their advisor? May God bless you. It's a disaster.
If you just join us, it's still Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. We'll take a short break. When we return, there will be more on our conversations today on the program. Our studio line will also be open so we can contribute to the discussion. Like we always say, views expressed here are the views of the guests. They are not entirely the views of the station. So when you call, be brief because others are waiting, and do not cast aspersion on our guests in the studio. Stay with us. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Thanks again for rejoining us on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. We've got distinguished Senator Roland Owell with us in the studio. Thank you again for coming on the program. Yeah, what is your perspectives on the projections for opposition, particularly the ADC, in the build-up to 2027? In the ADC, people say is a convergence of strange bedfellows. You have the likes of Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the likes of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, Peter Obi, yourself, distinguished Senator Roland Owell, Chief John Odige Oyegun. Some of the people, we know their antecedents. We know what they represent. When they've had opportunities to serve at different levels, we know what they brought on board. Isn't this a disaster waiting to happen, in a sense?
God bless you. The coalition is a project to save this country from final destruction. You have just mentioned Atiku Abubakar. He contested in the SDP presidential. Along the line, MK Abiola came on board. He did not argue, he did not quarrel. Initially, they were thinking that he should be the vice presidential candidate, MK Abiola. Later, I was not chosen. Another person was chosen. There was no quarrel. There was no fight. He's been a Democrat from day one. We were together in ABU from 1968. It was in Congo, the School of Administration. I was in May campus, Samaro. We've been okay. I've known him from that point. When I was elected House of Rep 1979, one day he said, one custom officer was waiting for me downstairs. I said, you come up. I was on the 5th floor in 1004. He came, Roland, you have been elected. He came. From that point, we renewed our relationship. A man that cut across religious line, tribal line. So it's more like Bodiga or Yego. But PAMSEC communication, when I was a member of the House of Representatives, a humble man.
They are fantastic.
Yes.
No, they're fantastic.
Yes.
But it looks like there's going to be there's an explosion,
Not at all.
waiting to happen, particularly when concerns when the real issue of who becomes the president. Because we heard everybody saying, "Oh, I want to be." Peter Obi wants to be.
No problem.
Atiku wants to be.
No
so
problem.
isn't that going to be something that will undermine the party?
Not at all.
Okay, let's take some few calls. Hello, caller. Good morning. Welcome to the program Politics Today. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Automatically, go ahead.
My brother we are saluting this morning.
Okay.
It's quite unfortunate what's happening in those states. This political talk is getting out of hand. Campaign hasn't started, but this is happening in those states. I don't think this administration wants another party to campaign in those states as it's going on. They should do something. If they don't take over and say that they are not having anything that pertains to that attack 2 days ago, they should go ahead and those people that attack Obi this second time, attacking Obi in those states. Obi is coming to other states, just hearing this kind of news. So they can come to those states, they must attack him. Why? So if they don't take over, they don't have any. Then they go ahead and play this to the people that don't go, that live in this state, in this city. They go arrest them, appoint them.
Okay.
So that we know that they have right in that attack.
Okay.
That's all this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Ultimate Great. Our studio number is 08077770300. It's Politics Today. Good morning, caller. What's your name? And where are you calling us from?
Good morning, our daddy.
Good morning.
My name is Fred. I'm calling from Benin.
Fred, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. You bring our daddy. The secretariat, they put fire, they do a type of public after the way, they knock back, burn out the fire. This one is the second one. So, security is the head of the police, which is the constitution.
Yeah.
Section 214, 215, 216.
Yeah.
The inspector general of the police and the CP. They should tell us who did that act. Inspector Akon was being killed. A president Adi for a president in the airport. Until now, CP has not told us who killed Inspector Akon. That's my case.
All right, distinguished Senator Rolando Ware, what's your final comment? I mean, as we move towards 2027 election in terms of the participation of the electorate. We've had this challenge over the years where number of registered voters very high, but actual vote cast very low. Yeah,
the greatest problem you are seeing in the Second Republic, you see that people are anxious to go to vote. For a parents in villages and towns, whose children were not having free education, free health, they were anxious to vote. What you are seeing today, that government is not performing any longer. Social responsibility is the first thing that a government should be known for. If you look at it, Christ, one person out of 11 that were killed, one came, said, where are the 9? If the owner of the universe can expect gratitude back, what of you and I? People vote for a government. No return. Not only no return, their children are going to suffer. As I said, all those who are alive today and enjoy the UPN in Bend, the old Bend that I do today and Delta, will not pray for up to 10% of those that are participating in politics today. You are elected a governor. You are busy. We know it, we see it. You are busy converting government property to what is your own personal.
Okay.
So
our time is up. Senator Rolando, thank you so much for your time. We hope to have you here again and get your views on some of this. That's our package today on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. We hope you had a great time with us. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.